Hello and good afternoon. Going to be going over some AR-15 essential tools, some tips and tricks, as well as just some general content creators that are helpful either on YouTube or you can just search them up. So let's get started. So some talking points. We're going to go over some multi-use tools, just general purpose tools that are good to have. We'll go over some AR-15 specific tools that are good to have, as well as just some recommended channels and creators, because a lot of creators on YouTube have far more knowledge than I do, especially on the AR-15 platform. So some multi-use tools that are good: Thread Locker, obviously, red, blue, purple, Rock Set for suppressors since it handles the high temperature heat, Vibratight for anything that's going to have high vibration usage, such as pistols, slides, slide mounts, red dot systems, stuff like that. So each of these has their own kind of use case. So red would be like a permanent type solution that can only be removed with heat. Blue, you can generally work free. It's kind of a in between. Purple is usually for like scope rings. It's kind of similar to blue, but not really. Rock set, again, for anything related to suppressor usage. Vibratight, again, for anything with vibrations like pistol, handguns, slide reciprocation, stuff like that. Torque wrench, quarter-inch torque drives, always good to have. This is not just related to AR-15s, but it's good to have half-inch as well. So I'd say a quarter-inch, half-inch minimum torque wrenches you should have. Torque bits, Torx, hex, metric, and imperial. Quarter-inch is usually a good minimum to have. You don't really need to go any more than that. Vice, 4-inch, 4.5-inch, something like that. Just get the cheapest vice you can get. Roll pin, set punch, you can get those on Amazon for like 30 bucks. Staking pin, this usually comes with any kind of roll pin set, but if you need an AR-15 specific staking pin, you can get the real Avid one. If you need more like AR-15 specific dimensional roll pin set, just get the real Avid one. It's worth it. It comes with like all that stuff. It's very nice. Drill bits, that's kind of an odd one. I just put that one on here because if you have spare drill bits laying around, obviously it's more for your actual tools and usage like that. But for AR-15 specifically, you can use the round part of certain size drill bits as a slave pin for the front takedown pin. That's kind of a neat, handy trick. All this other stuff is just general stuff you should have, like small flashlight, digital caliper, hammer, sledgehammer, any kind of small tools like that. These are all great general multi-purpose tools to have. AR-15 specific tools, I'm going to go into them right here in a second. I'll leave this up on the screen in case you want to jot this down, and then I'm going to move into actually going over some of these. So let's get into it. So for the AR-15 specific tools, you want an armor's wrench. Probably the best one you can get is the Magpul and the Magpul armor's wrench for AR-15. The reason you want this is because it pretty much has everything you need. Right here, this kind of square index section, you can actually attach your half-inch torque wrench to actually get correct torque spec. The bottom part is more for like the actual just castle nut area, as well as the top part as well. And then there's some parts of this, the actual top part is meant to hold on to an A2 flash hider, or most flash hiders have kind of a similar spec. So that top part, the kind of circular squarish part, can be used for that. So another thing would be like a general vise. You can go on Amazon, you can get these. 4.25 works fine. We can go less than a 4. So yeah, these are cheap. You can get these for like 40 bucks on Amazon. Roll pin set, it comes with the punch. The hammer will come with a soft end, a hard end, brass. It usually come with a brass and a soft end, whether it's the white or the black, just different hardness levels. It also comes with, your standard Imperial roll pins. So yeah, that's like 30 bucks on Amazon, 28, 30. Here's your quarter-inch torque drive on Amazon, 43 bucks. Good to have. Quarter-inch Torx bit set. This is, I think, metrics to T. Yeah, so it's like T, 20, 15, 10, etc. This is more AR-15 specific master bench block. So this will allow you to do multiple things. You can take down various things like the front sight. It has a front sight part. It has like stuff for like the gas block and stuff like that. You can kind of look into this, like as you can see in the top right on this diagram. That's more for like the front sight, gas block, stuff like that. It also helps for building lowers as well. It can hold parts of the lower that you need to hold into place to actually get that. It's got some stuff for like taking down the bolt and stuff like that. This is not required, but it's generally helpful. Here's your half-inch torque drive. I already mentioned before. Gun tool, kind of multi-tool. You don't have to buy one this expensive. I just put this one up here because I actually have one of these. It's pretty useful. It has various kind of wrenches on it to help with like clearing malfunctions, stuff like that. It also has an actual kind of screwdriver on it that has different bits and stuff like built in. It also has a knife as well. Rock set. This is also good to have, like I said, for the suppressors. Any kind of high temperature item, you're gonna want this. You don't have to get this gigantic bottle, but it's just good to have if you just want to kind of get like a small pack or small tube. Some companies sell the little small ones for like $1 or less or something like that. I think Silencer Shop has some. Digital caliper, get the stainless one. Don't get the cheap plastic ones. There's just no point in getting the cheap plastic one. Just make sure it's a good quality like stainless one. It has like a depth gauge as well. That small little piece on the top right, that's for depth, measuring depth. If you need to kind of get specs on maybe like firing pin protrusion, stuff like that. If you want a more specific depth gauge, you can go on Brownells. They have some more specific depth gauges for like measuring firing pin protrusion, stuff like that. Or if you want to kind of go all out and give it some more expensive tools, I can make another video into that, but this is kind of more just for the essentials. Last but not least, this is extremely important if you're torquing muzzle devices. Get a decent quality upper reaction rod. I know this one's pretty expensive. It's 125, but I think there's some cheaper ones. Like I think the Wheeler one is cheaper than this. The Wheeler one's decent. I have that one. This one's just like really good quality. You want an upper receiver reaction rod so that your upper kind of gets aligned with this device. So this will align both the bolt kind of and the gas key. So that way when you're torquing down on that muzzle, it's not putting all that pressure on your barrel extension kind of key at the top, so that it doesn't shear that. You don't want to shear that barrel extension slot on the top, because if you shear that, then you're just screwed at that point. But yeah, so this is pretty decent as well. So that's pretty much it as far as tools go for the AR-15. If you want a more advanced video, you can go into that. Here's some common torque values. Castle nut torque and 40 foot-pounds. Muzzle devices 25 to 30 foot-pounds. Scope ring 18 to 20 inch-pounds. Important difference, inch-pounds on the scope rings. Tips and tricks. AR-15 armor's wrench can be used to torque muzzle devices, castle nuts, and deal with barrel extension stuff. So it has a lot of uses. That's why it's the first item I put on kind of that review there. Half-inch torque drive fits the square of an AR-15 armor's wrench. So that kind of little square in the armor's tool is for an actual torque drive to fit in there. Quarter-inch torque drive will fit most stuff for like scope rings, M-lock, stuff like that. Any of your small accessories, that's why the quarter-inch one's good, as well as the bits for that. Don't use thread locker on M-lock items. Just torque them to spec. Thread locker uses, I already kind of went over those in the beginning. Red, permanent, blue, kind of not permanent, vibratite, vibration, rock set, suppressor stuff. Stake your castle nut as well in two places. Around the part of a drill bit can act as a slave pin. I already went over that for front takedown pin install. I know that can get annoying to kind of deal with. Again, these are not instructions on how to do this. These are just recommended tools and kind of tricks. This is not showing you how to do this. This is not advocating for anything. This is just kind of tricks you can use if you were to go that route. Do not over torque muzzle devices. This can also impact accuracy. I know Dead Air specifically goes over that in one of their videos. Do not over torque scope rings either. Some follow-up materials and content creators. So SOTAR stands for School of the American Rifle. Chad, he runs a really good channel over there detailing literally everything about the AR-15. He can't go into some specific stuff because it's not allowed on YouTube. But if you go to his materials, a lot of his stuff is free, some of it is not, but it would be well worth it if you're super interested in that stuff to actually pay to go to one of his classes. Other stuff like the suppressor companies, if you want to know stuff about how to properly torque and do stuff with suppressors, go to your specific manufacturer and watch their videos for their products. Sage Dynamics, another good product reviewer. He does a lot of burn downs and actual stress tests on products. So he will be the hardest user of any product you want to get more information about, whether it's suppressors or AR-15s, stuff like that. These other channels are good too. Like I listed some for like thermals and MV if you're interested in that stuff. Buffman does the armor testing. The rest of these are kind of just self-explanatory. I know CSAT Way is Paul Howell's channel. If you don't know who Paul Howell is, just look that up for on educational purposes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, I provide this information for free. If you want to kind of help out or collaborate or anything like that, just message me. Thank you.